Everyone. It is August. That is bananas to me. Welcome to church this morning at First Parish in Concord. I'm Jade Sylvan. I am your summer minister. And thank you very much for bearing with the awkward state of my apartment. As some of you know, I will be moving to Houston, Texas in 1 week. So please forgive all of my boxes. I am very excited for today's service. Matt Meyer is here. Matt, say hello.
Good morning, all. It's so good to be with you this morning. Good to visit again.
And helping us on tech is Sarah.
Good morning. It's good to be with you today.
Thank you, Sarah. And Matt's got the call to worship, which is from the Bible. So exciting.
Psalm 98, as written in our Singing the Living Tradition hymnal, says, "Oh, sing a new song to the Eternal. Shout praise, all earth break into music and song. Let the sea and all within it thunder praise. Let the world and its inhabitants. Let the rivers clap their hands, and let the mountains sing in chorus. Oh, sing a new song to the Eternal."
Thank you, Matt. As Unitarian Universalists, we begin our services by lighting a chalice. So if you have a chalice or a candle nearby, I invite you to light it in solidarity with all UUs around the world. And please join me in our chalice lighting response. O flame of our faith, open our hearts and fill our bodies and souls with persistent strength. Enliven our spirits and engage us deeply in this life of ours, this sacred, essential moment now. Please join Matt in our opening song, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
We're going to do this with a slightly different rhythm than you may be used to, but I invite you to sing along at home as you get a sense of it. And just because we can't hear each other doesn't mean we can't sing together. Doesn't mean we can't still breathe together in rhythm. Enter, rejoicing, come in. Enter, rejoicing, come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoicing, come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoicing, come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoicing, come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Here we go. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoicing, come in. Enter, rejoice. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Today will be a joyful day. One more. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Our reading comes from Lynn Unger, called Breathe. Breathe, said the wind. How can I breathe at a time like this when the air is full of smoke? When the smoke of burning tires, the smoke of burning lives. Just breathe, the wind insisted. Easy for you to say, if the weight of injustice is not wrapped around your throat, cutting off all air. I need you to breathe. I need you to breathe. Don't tell me to be calm when there are so many reasons to be angry and so much cause for despair. I didn't say to be calm, said the wind. I said to breathe. We're going to need a lot of air to make this hurricane together. And our next song was written probably just about a year ago by a musician named Humbird to capture this moment that we're in. I invite you to center down as we sing this song, to breathe into it together. On the day we are together again, on the day we are together again, I will pull you in close like a hoop with no end. On the day we are together again. Someday we will go back to work. Someday we will go back to work. May we be among people who respect our worth. Someday we will go back to work. We will share the same table again. We will share the same table again. I will pass you the salt, the candlelight will bend when we eat at the same table again. I will help the strangers I meet. I will help the strangers I meet. It is possible to get back on our feet. I will help the strangers I meet. I will write you a letter for now. I will write you a letter for now. Hope is a message, it survives somehow. I will write you a letter for now. To the healers that keep us alive. To the healers that keep us alive. A toast to your knowledge, courage and light. To the healers that keep us alive. And the ones who we love who are gone. And the ones who we love that are gone. We remember your stories, we sing your songs for the ones who we love that are gone. And on the day we are together again, on the day we are together again, I will pull you in close like a hoop with no end. On the day we are together again. I've been struggling with balance lately. One day, I'm so looking forward to future travels and adventures and gatherings with friends, and the next I am frightened by the COVID numbers, scared for myself and for our country. I've been struggling to find a sense of balance of planning for the future while trying to stay present in the moment without trying to control things beyond my control. This is a time for paying attention to our fears and our anxieties. And it is also a time for connection and consolations. We are in a moment of needing self-care as well as needing community care more than ever. These are days of both solitude and of solidarity. One of the central principles that separates music from noise is the organization of tension and release. The harmony and melody, the rhythm and form of nearly all the music that you have ever listened to is structured on purpose to give you a sense of having gone somewhere and then returned home, to create some small amount of discomfort on purpose and then to relieve it. You can get a sense of this if you sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, but end just a little early on the word you. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you. It's unresolved, uncomfortable. Unresolved is the word we use in the music business. You get a little nervous actually until you finally hear that last note. R. It's like that feeling you get if you're leaving the house in the morning and your roommate or your spouse says to you just as you're stepping out the door, "Hey, are you around later to check in about something that's been on my mind?" Ugh. That is unresolved. It is the tension. You might widen your eyes a bit and maybe even look around the room a little to try and figure out what has gone wrong. This is the tension. But then comes the release. In music, it's that sublime moment of arrival that might come at just the right harmonic resolution at the end of a long symphony, or when the bass finally drops at just the right moment in a dance hall. The tension and then the release. The best music provides this sense of having left home, being challenged in some new way, and growing yourself with a nudge of discomfort, but arriving comfortably in your bed by the end of the evening. And to be clear, tension in music isn't something to be avoided. It's what gives music life. The tension and discomfort of new things is how we grow, and we need the release as well. This is what makes the best music the best. And I think the best lived lives are likely to have an element of this as well. Always growing and stretching while balanced with a sense of stability and security. Planning for an unknown future while remaining grounded in the present. Celebrating our gratitudes while holding grief. This back and forth of tension and release, of movement and rest, action and reflection, it shows up in our bodies as well. This balance is hardwired into our nervous system. We have actually two different nervous systems for these two different purposes. The sympathetic nervous system is the engine of fight or flight. It exists because we live in a dangerous world. It releases adrenaline, speeds up the heart, dilates the pupils, and can even seem to slow down our sense of time by changing how we encode memories in particularly stressful moments, kind of like Neo in the Matrix. Our other nervous system is for times of rest and renewal. The parasympathetic system slows down the heart. It relaxes the muscles. It kicks in when you breathe deep, when you have a good meal or sit in your favorite chair, or when a loved one puts you at ease with kind words. Tension and release are built into the very structure of our bodies. They are hardwired into us. What is important is to pay attention to them, both of them. To learn the landscape of your own heart by paying attention to it. Attend to your nervous system, both of them, as they each play their role in attending to you when the time is right. These are times for action and reflection. These are times for self-care and community care, solitude and solidarity. We are in the all of it together. In the book of Psalms in the Hebrew Bible, there's a word found over and over again, Selah. It shows up 71 times in the Psalms. So it's important, but scholars don't actually agree on exactly what it means. It stands out in some strange ways. The Psalms were originally sung, though. In some ways, they are like a lyric sheet passed down for millennia. And so amidst the debates about this word, One of the more common ideas is that it's not actually a part of the text at all, but instead maybe a cue to the choir or the music director singing the psalms. Something that says, pause, or breathe here. Now the psalms run the gamut of human emotion. I think they have stuck around because they cover such a wide spectrum of our experiences, of the feelings we struggle or celebrate with. Grief and celebration side by side, one verse to the next, anger and praise next to each other, love and lamentation. But over and over, amidst all of them, is Selah, tension and release. Selah, balanced amidst the rugged emotional terrain of the Psalms, reminds us to do the hard thing, do the uncomfortable thing, the thing that stretches you, and remember to breathe. Fight for justice, give generously to the front lines, offer your time and talent, and remember to breathe. I've been thinking of this word lately in the rugged emotional terrain of our times. Adrienne Marie Brown calls this a boundaries moment as we are negotiating and renegotiating our connections and our safety all over again. As the world is changing all over again, my own heart has been as raw and rugged as the book of Psalms. Grief and celebration, anger and praise, love and lamentation, they are all familiar to me these days. Sometimes all just in an afternoon. I feel lifted up by the possibilities for connection and community ahead of us, and I feel weighed down by the hundreds of small decisions to be made, navigating safety and guidelines and rules and recommendations. I feel the release of wanting to go back to something called normal. And I feel the tension that what was normal was never just. Normal was not sustainable. It was not equitable. This is a time to be gentle with ourselves and each other, but gentleness does not mean to ignore the difficult things or to always follow the path of least resistance. Easy for you to say, the poem reminds us, if the weight of injustice is not wrapped around your throat. I didn't say to be calm, said the wind. I said to breathe. We're going to need a lot of air to make this hurricane together. It's helpful to remember that amidst the grieving and gratitude, all of which are appropriate, many of us have gotten the message somewhere along the way that tensions in life are supposed to be minimized, that some feelings are off limits. Some of us got the message that it's okay to be angry but not sad, or sad but never angry. Some of us got the message that we're allowed to feel worried but never afraid, or alone but never lonely. Some of us ignore the disallowed feelings, the result being that we never fully experience the tension inherent in a full life, and that we never find the release on the other side. Dear ones, if you are struggling with anger or fear, with worry or loneliness this morning, pause, breathe here. There is something on the other side. When I first heard this song a few months ago, on the day we are together again, I was sitting at my desk, working through my email inbox, and without warning, I clicked this link in an email from a friend that brought up this song, and it broke me open. It caught me off guard with a wave of grieving that I just hadn't allowed for myself since this pandemic had began. It was a deep dive into the tension of these times, the losses, large and small, that have piled on top of each other this last year. And it was, in turn, a release. When the tears stopped, I breathed with a depth I didn't know I had been missing. I've been told that a good spiritual practice includes doing something every day, every week, every season, and every year to give yourself time for rest and renewal. And I think that some folks describe these times of renewal as the religious life. They say that spirituality is about taking care of yourself and making space for those deep breaths, making time for rest and connection amidst it all. But I disagree. The spiritual life is all of it. Like music, it is the release and it is also the tension. It's times for reflection and it is also the action. It's the music that is made beautiful by both the challenge of discomfort and the ease of resolution. Comforting the afflicted and afflicting the comfortable, always in turn. So, dear ones, give yourself fully to the tension of these times, and in turn, give yourself fully to the moments of release. Breathe deeply together. These are times for paying attention to what you pay attention to, times for breathing deep and times for action, both, times for grieving and times for imagining new futures, both, times for attending to our fears and anxieties as well as our connections and our consolations, times for self-care and community care, for solitude as well as solidarity. May it be so, and may we make it so.
You'll see a question on your screen. Where are you comforting the afflicted, and where are you afflicting the comfortable? Please type your brief answer into the chat as Matt plays a reflection song, and I will read some of them aloud. See some answers here. Political activism for universal health care and the Green New Deal. Opening my ears to what people are saying while keeping my mouth shut. Giving to the Boston Food Bank. Kindness to my family who suffer. Speaking out for racial justice and microaggressions. In outreach to the marginalized. Comforting one with mental illness, afflicting the comfortable with posts about the climate crisis. Thank you so much for engaging. There's some other answers here in the chat if you'd like to read more. And now we're going to move into our time of prayer and meditation together. Every week we come together to grieve together, to celebrate together as a community. And this week we are grieving with Rosalind, and we have Karen Joy in our hearts. You can read more about that in the chat. Sarah will paste the full information in there. And now is your time to name aloud those who you are praying for, who you are celebrating with, or who you are grieving with, or who you just have concern for. You can say it out loud, or you can type the name into the chat if you would like community support.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to
I invite you to join me in a spirit of prayer. Take a moment to breathe deep. For now, at least, there is nowhere else you need to be, nothing else to be done, but to be present with yourself and present here together. Spirit of life, spirit of love that is within us and between us. Be with us as we are with each other this morning, bringing our whole selves, our whole complicated selves. Be with us as we hold each other in the grief and in the losses large and small that have piled up over this year. There is too much to mourn. Loved ones that meant the world to us, who we miss dearly. We're grieving those losses, large and small. Friends and family no longer with us, or those who are still struggling with sickness or health. The loss of routines, small and large, in our daily habits. Spirit, be with us as we're with each other also in the celebrations, in the gratitudes, large and small, in the small glad gifts we find in our days, in the ways we have found to gather and to connect once again, or to connect across the distance, the ways we have found to celebrate the joys of our lives, even in confusing and complicated times. Spirit, be with us as we are with each other in the all of it, in the tension and the release, in the action and the reflections. Spirit, be with us as we are with each other. May it be so. Amen.
Find a stillness, hold a stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me. In Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony. Seek the essence, hold the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony.
Now is your chance to give to the good work of First Parish in Concord. You'll see a number appear on your screen that will tell you how to text your donation. If you have done this before, you can just type your donation, a round number like a 20 or a 50, right to that number. If you haven't done it before, you will need your credit card the first time. Of course, you can also send your donations via a check, or you can donate through the website. Just find it on there. And some folks have asked what the Share the Plate donation is over the summer, and we don't do that over the summer. So all of the donation will go to First Parish in Concord, just so you know that. Check your email. Check your email and read FP Weekly. Can't say it enough. It is a great way to stay connected to First Parish, even during the week. And, you know, I know a lot of you are joining us from your vacation areas, from places that are not the Concord area. And one of the great things about this continued time of adjustment is we have the ability to connect with each other, even if we are not actually in the area. And there are ways literally every day to connect with one another. And as we know, connection is so important, especially as things continue to be wild and uncertain. So I do urge you to sign up for FP Weekly if you haven't, and really open those emails on Friday when you get them, if you haven't been. And today, as usual, after service, there will be 2 links that you will see in the chat. And one will be for the Worship Sharing Circle, which is a place for you to discuss some of the themes of the service today with one another. And the other one is Coffee Hour, which is just more of a social gathering. So you can choose if you want to go to one or the other. And those links will be in the chat. And I believe Matt will stick around, hopefully, for a few minutes, at least in one of them. So that is an exciting thing to look forward to. I now invite you to join Matt in our closing song, More Waters Rising.
This is a song written by Sarah Lynch Thomason, a climate justice activist in Appalachia. The song, like the best music, and I would say like the best faith communities, calls us not to ignore the difficulties of our times, not to ignore the hard things and the crises we are facing, but to look at them directly, to name them honestly, and to move forward to address them together. It goes like this. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. Alright, now you got the hang of it. Let's do that verse again so you can sing along at home. This is a great time also to try some harmonies you might not have been so bold to try if others could hear you. There are more waters rising. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more fires burning. There are more fires burning, this I know, this I know. There are more fires burning, this I know. There are more fires burning, they will find their way to me. There are more fires burning, this I know, this I know. There are more fires burning, this I know. There are more mountains falling. There are more mountains falling, this I know, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know. There are more mountains falling, they will find their way to me. There are more mountains falling, this I know, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know. I will wade through the waters when they find their way to me. I will wade through the waters, this I know, this I know. I will wade through the waters, this I know. I will wade through the waters when they find their way to me. I will wade through the waters, this I know, this I know. I will wade through the waters, this I know. I will walk through the fire. I will walk through the fires, this I know, this I know. I will walk through the fires, this I know. I will walk through the fires when they find their way to me. I will walk through the fires, this I know, this I know. I will walk through the fires, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains when they find their way to me. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know. There are more waters rising. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. Dear ones, the spiritual life is the all of it. Like the best music, it is the release and the tension, the reflection and the action. These are times for breathing deep and times for action both, times for grieving the past while also imagining new futures. A time for afflicting the comfortable while we comfort the afflicted. May it be so. Go in peace, and go and be blessed as you are a blessing to others.
Thank you, Matt, and thank all of you for joining us this morning. Please join me now in the First Parish benediction. Go out into the world in peace, have courage, hold on to what is good, return to no person evil for evil, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the suffering, honor all beings.